Welcome to the Stephen Howson football channel. This is where I will take you through everything that I do revolving around football, be it that at Old Trafford or elsewhere. This is where you will get your match previews, your reviews, your football vlogs, your scout reports, your transfer talk, your youth reviews, your documentaries and anything and everything revolving around football. I absolutely love this game. Do me a favour and subscribe. Thank you for watching. Hello everyone and welcome to the Stephen Howson football channel, and today what I'm going to do is I'm going to tell you how Manchester United can beat Spurs. But before I get into that, you can win £100 just for following the bet that I'm putting on this weekend. More details on that at the end of the video. So let's talk about what Spurs do well, let's talk about what United do well, and let's talk about how we can stop what they do, how we can impose what we want to do. My prediction, we'll talk about the starting 11, and then I'll tell you how you can win £100 just for putting the same bet that I've put on. So what do Spurs do well? Now, Spurs play at a 4-2-3-1. Mauricio Pochettino is pretty married to the 4-2-3-1 formation. They love a high press. They really press from the front using the likes of Son, using the likes of Ali, using the likes of Harry Kane. He's a big, important factor of their forward press. They like to win back possession in the opponent's final third, around the halfway lane. They don't like line. They don't really like to get it all the way back to their defence before they start putting them under pressure. They do like to win it high, and they do like to do it quite aggressively. Now, in reality, that 4-2-3-1 is a little bit more lopsided. You see Eriksson on the right-hand side. He comes back. He's more of a right midfielder than he is like a right winger, in the sort of style that if United played a 4-2-3-1, you'd see it with two wingers, even though Juan Mata isn't necessarily a winger. You're going to see Eriksson come back. He's going to be involved in the playmaking more. He's going to be involved in the build-up more, rather than the person that's doing the finishing at the other end of it. On the left-hand side, you're likely to see the likes of Son or possibly Lamela played quite further forward, and they'll be given the licence, along with Dele Alli and Harry Kane, as I said earlier, to really press from the front. And that's where the aggression comes in with those three. Eriksson, along with the two midfielders, which I expect to be Dembele and Dyer in this instance this weekend, is probably going to be more of a midfield three. So I think it's probably going to end up looking like a 4-3-3 versus a 4-3-3, because Dembele is going to get forward. He'll probably cover the areas of the pitch where Eriksson's not going to cover. Dyer's going to sit in and be a little bit more deeper behind them. And Spurs occupy that space really well. And I think they like to hold possession on their back line. They don't really like to get it forward and hold it forward as you would like expect City to do when they're rotating through possession. They do it in a very similar style to Liverpool, but when they go forward with maximum aggression and maximum tenacity, and they get it forward quick, and that's how they're able to capitalise. I'd say Spurs, even though they do have a lot of possession of the ball, I'd say they're probably more of a counter-attacking side in terms of their style, because even though they're holding that possession, they're holding it going left and right with it, knocking it along that back line, waiting to see a weakness, waiting to find somewhere that they can throw it forward and really capitalise on the opposition. Now, the fullback support makes them really strong in midfield, and the team has this overall tempo and tenacity to it when it's defended, which makes them tough to beat, but it also makes them pretty easy on the eye. I do expect this to be a proper end-to-end game with United at Wembley because of the size of the pitch and the way that I think United are also going to set up. Now, what United do well. Now, a lot of people don't like to talk about what Manchester United do well because they just like to trash us. But we're not second in the league for no reason. We're not in an FA Cup semi-final for no reason. What United do well is in the big games, Manchester United like to counter, and we counter very well. We've also managed to correctly identify the major threats in most of our big games. We've also managed to correctly identify the players that are going to cause us the havoc in those big games, and we've dealt with them very well, in my opinion. Salah has gone on a complete tear against most of Europe. Ashley Young has still got his keys, I think. He's not been allowed to do it at Old Trafford. He was identified as the big point that we needed to nullify, and we did that very well. United have also managed to bypass the press against teams that like to press us high. Liverpool and Manchester City in particular, and even Spurs, to be honest, by going direct from David De Gea to Lukaku, completely missed the defence out because we're not great playing out the back, completely bypass the midfield, go straight to Lukaku. David De Gea has found Lukaku on numerous occasions and found a lot of success with this in the big games. In fact, the last game with Spurs at Wembley, United went direct to Lukaku 9 times from Big Dave, and every single one of those passes was successful. Now, we didn't end up scoring. It was 2-0 at Wembley in the last fixture. But I think arguably the game was already gone in the first minute after the very early goal that Spurs scored. But I think this is an option that Manchester United have been working on since we saw it to maximum effect against Liverpool. We was very clinical. Lukaku involved in the build-up of both of those goals, more directly for the first one in this manner. But this is what Manchester United have to do in this instance. I think Davinson Sanchez is someone that can be bullied by Lukaku, but it wasn't him, it was Vertonghen in the previous fixture, the one that Lukaku had lots of joy against. If we can get somebody running in behind him, Manchester United are going to find a lot of success with that ball, I think. So how can we stop them? How can we stop Spurs doing what they do very well? Three-man midfield. A three-man midfield in this instance is going to be the base that United's victory is going to be built on. Under Herrera, Matic and Pogba hasn't really worked, certainly anywhere near the level that I expected it to work this season. I thought they would be an absolutely belting midfield three. Last season, our best performances, in my opinion, came with Michael Carrick, Under Herrera and Paul Pogba, and I was like, Matic is just a taller, stronger version, arguably not as good a passer, but he's a taller, stronger version of Carrick. He's going to sit in there in the number 6, let Herrera get forward, let Herrera do a box-to-box thing, and then free up Paul Pogba. Didn't go down like that. They've not actually been that great when they've been played together, but this is the time that you bring Herrera back in. He was a fantastic performer against Bournemouth on Wednesday. It's time for him to be given another start and another specific job, because I think if you put him on Eriksson or you allow him to go on Ali or Son, you're going to nullify one of the major threats that Spurs offer, and that's going to be a good thing for us getting a victory in this game. I also think you go direct out of the press. United are fantastic with it, as we said earlier. Big Dave to Lukaku, skip the defence, skip that midfield, let's get it straight into Lukaku and find runners off him. We go direct to Lukaku, who's been fantastic for United this season, and we're going to find a lot of success against this Spurs team. And finally, we need to turn this defence around. If plan A of going to Lukaku isn't working, we need to be firing balls into the channel, and whether he's on the right or he's on the left, Marcus Rashford has to start for Manchester United, and we need to get the ball in front of him. We saw how deadly he is, given a couple of limited shots against Liverpool. The big games, Marcus Rashford turns up every single time. So Marcus Rashford's going to be important here. Get the ball in front of him, let him run onto it. Let's turn this Spurs defence around and let him get shots on goal. And Marcus Rashford's going to be the key to that victory, I think. Now, what do we need to watch out for? So against Spurs, the things that we definitely need to watch out for is Spurs countering. Now, as we said, they like to turn possession and get it forward really quickly when they win it. They press high, so if they manage to take possession off United, as we are dithering with it, and one of the reasons why I expect United to go quite direct with it, if we're caught in possession along the back four, they will have numbers in support instantly. They'll turn it over there and they will get forward, and they'll probably get a shot off and a chance off on goal. We saw a lot of that in the game at Wembley earlier this season. United can't afford to do that this time. We've got to go long. We've got to go direct to Lukaku. We can't allow them to be winning the ball in our final third, where we are arguably at our weakest. We've got a strong midfield. We've got an excellent attack. That defence is the only thing that lets United down. We need to watch out for Eriksson versus Young. Now, Young, as I said before, dealt brilliantly with Mo Salah. Didn't give him an inch. Was on him every single time. Lots of challenges directly against Mo Salah, in which Young came off the victor more often than not. But Eriksson's a different threat. Eriksson's going to drift inside. Eriksson's going to stay deep. He's not going to attack him directly like Mo Salah's going to do. And I think Ashley Young, as a non-traditional defender, is going to really struggle with that. So I want United to make sure that they've got doubled up with him. I think Marcus Rashford's a preferred choice over someone like Sanchez. I think he would work harder, be a bit more tenacious, and someone that would give the protection that Ashley Young is definitely going to need in this instance, because if you start letting Eriksson dictate the play, Spurs are going to have the better game. So Ashley Young needs a big performance, and he needs a little bit of help. He's not going to be able to do it on his own. That's the things that United need to watch out for. The starting 11 that I want to see then to go and make this happen is Valencia at right back, Ashley Young at left back. It's got to be Eric Bailly. Eric Bailly against Harry Kane is going to be a 1-0 victory for Eric Bailly. He's going to get nothing on him. I think Smalling's got to come in alongside him, because actually Smalling is pretty good defensively against someone that's going to try and be physical with him. I think it's those trickier ones that come in and drift around and don't really front him up physically, where he really starts to struggle. So that's the back four that I want to see. I'm not even talking about the goalkeeper, because you know the best goalkeeper in the world is getting the start in this one. The midfield three, Herrera, Matic, Pogba, very important. 3 totally different roles for the midfield three. I wouldn't even be shocked to see Scott McTominay come in there in place of Herrera and do the same sort of job that I'm expecting Herrera to do, which is mark that guy and do it very well and do it properly. But I think we need that extra little bit of a bite and an extra little bit of experience. So I'm going for Herrera over McTominay. And then the forward three, Marcus Rashford, absolutely key to Manchester United getting a victory in this instance. Lukaku up front. Lingard on the right-hand side providing some width, because United have been incredibly narrow, and also some pace on the counter-attack, because when we break, we're going to have to be quick to get in behind this Spurs defence. And my prediction is going to be 2-1. and let's talk about how you can win some money then. So I'm going to be putting this bet on today, and you guys can follow it, and a random follower of this bet, you put this bet on as well, is just going to be given 100 quid. So whether it comes in or not, you could win anyway. So I'm going to go with Liverpool to beat West Brom. I'm going to go with a draw in the Watford and the Palace game. I'm going to go with Arsenal to win. I'm going to go with Stoke to lose to Burnley. I'm going to say United are beating Spurs and Chelsea are beating Southampton in the other FA Cup semi-final. That's going to get you 1,200 quid off a tenner. And as I said before, follow Mr. Stephen Howson on the BetBull app. So download it. The link will be in the description below. Find me, follow me, put this bet on, and one random person that follows me, and let's be honest, it's not going to be that many people do it, is it? You've got very good odds with this. Get it on. You've got a very good chance of winning 100 quid. Just going to be completely random, whoever gets it. So that is it from me today. Make sure to go and follow BetBull on Twitter and socials. Download the app. The link is in the description. And the last thing I've got to say is that this channel is supported by Patreon. So if you're interested in what we're doing on there, we've got loads of behind the scenes stuff. You're getting early access. You're getting any of the little bits of info that I can get out of Old Trafford. We've also got Patreon only videos and exclusive members only group. There's nearly 300 people in there at the moment. So come and join the fun. Hit the link below and find out exactly what all of Patreon is about. And you can get some extra content as well if you're really into that. But thank you guys for watching. Get your predictions for the lineup and your score predictions in the comments below. And if you're going to Wembley, I'll see you there tomorrow. Laters.